Hello, friends. Today you're going to be starting the process of how to multiply a decimal. And multiplying decimals is fairly easy. Just like with the addition and subtraction, it mirrors what we do with regular whole numbers. But then there's an extra little piece there because of the decimal. So I'm going to demonstrate to you today what you do, and then you'll have some time to practice it with Ms. Gregorio, and then some time to practice it on your own or with a partner. So let's pretend like we are going to multiply, let's say, 12.6. So that's 12 wholes and 6/10 of another whole times, let's say, 5. Right now, we'll just work with one number that's a decimal and one number that is not. So we would choose any of our strategies that we use to multiply. I'm going to use the area model because it's what I think works best for most of you. And I'm going to treat this like a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number. So I'm going to put my 5 on the outside. I'm going to section off my area model into 3 parts, and I'm going to put their values. So the value of the 1 is worth 10. The value of 2 is worth 2. And the value of the 6 is worth 0.6. Okay? So here's how we do this. I'm just going to multiply 5 times 10, which is 50. I'm going to multiply 5 times 2, which is 10. And I'm going to think of this as multiplying just 5 times 6, which is 30. Now here's the part that gets a little tricky. I'm going to count how many decimal spots I have, or how many spots I have to the right of the decimal. In this case, I only have 1. And I'm going to put my decimal in that same spot here. 1 spot will be on the right of the decimal, just like here, and then my decimal, and then my place. Now, when I go to add up my parts, well, these are easy to add. 50 and 10 is 60. When I go to add these, just like we practiced last week, I need to remember to line up my decimal. So I need to put this lined up just like this. When I go to add my pieces, I don't want to add 60 plus 30 because this is not worth 30. This is 3 wholes and 0/10. So 0 plus 0, I can put this placeholder if I'd like, is 0. Put my decimal. 0 and 3 is 3. And then just bring down my 6. So my answer is 63. In this case, this answer doesn't really need a decimal, even though I multiplied by a decimal. So let's try another one. Let me erase what we just did. This might take me forever. Let's get a new page instead. Oops. There, clear frame. That's what I needed. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try 14.72 times, and let's do 6.1 this time. Actually, let's just do 6. Get my eraser. Erase that so we don't get confused. All right, again, I'm going to use area model. This one's going to have to be a little longer because it's almost like a 4-digit by a 1-digit. So I'm going to put my 6. And then I'm going to break this number out. The 1 is worth 10. The 4 is worth 4. The 7 is worth 0.7. And the 2 is worth 0.02. Those are just hundredths. Okay, now I can start multiplying. So 10 times 6 is 60. 4 times 6 is 24. 6 times 7 is, 42. Now I have to look at how many parts are behind my decimal. I have 1 part, so I'm going to put 1 part behind my decimal in this answer. And 6 times 2 is 12. And I have 2 parts, 2 places behind this decimal. So I have to go 1, 2 parts behind the decimal here. Now I'm ready to add. So I'm going to first add my whole. 60 and 24 is 84. And then I'm going to need to add my wholes to my parts. So I'm going to pretend this is 84.00 to help me place things. Sorry for my messy handwriting. Then I'm going to place 4.2. I'm making sure to line up those decimals. I can even put a placeholder here of 0 if I want, and then 0.12. Lining up my decimals the whole time. I can put a 0 placeholder there. Now I'm ready to add. 0, 0, and 2 is 2. 0, 2, and 1 is 3. 4 and 4 is 8. Ah, what in the heck just happened to my pen? Let's try that again. 4 and 4 is 8. And 8 tens we're just going to bring down. So my answer is 88.32. So the important things to notice here are that I treat it kind of like just normal numbers. I ignore the decimal a little bit as I'm setting up my area model. And then I have to pay attention to the decimal once I've multiplied the numbers in order to count how many spaces are to the right of the decimal and do the same thing in the answer, in the product. So I hope that that helps you today. You can do a couple more practices with Ms. Gregorio to really get it down, and then practice together today with partners or on your own for the work that's due, and we'll go over it tomorrow. Good luck.